Hey YouTube, Daddy Fix here, and today I'd like to do an unboxing on something I bought recently for the boat, a BOATEYE360 ultra low light camera. This camera will mount on the boat and it will assist with navigating at night when the only available light is very low ambient light from stars, moon, lights on shore, and that sort of thing. So let's get into it and take a look and see what we've got. When I opened this up, and I did open the box before the video, I hope that's not a breach of etiquette. But anyway, this is what's inside the box. And the very first thing I noticed was, wow, I'm pretty impressed that this thing comes in this really nice hard case with the BOATEYE360 logo on it. My first impression was, wow, that's unexpected and pretty well thought out. Now let's go inside the hard case and see what we've got. So it looks like we've got a couple of cables. We have the camera itself. And some other stuff. So let's take it one at a time and see what we've got here. This is the BOATEYE360 camera. The model that I got is the HDMI version. It's got one cable where the, or wood pigtail rather, where the power cable will connect. This is the power cable, 4-pin connector. It's included with some heat shrink already on it. Nice touch. And this power cable is 8 meters long, has a built-in fuse with it. It has heat shrink for your 2 power connections. So pretty well thought out. I like the power cable. As I said, the version I bought is the HDMI version, the digital version. They also offer an analog version. There's the cap over the HDMI connector, and the included HDMI cable has a waterproof connector at one end for the camera, and that would screw on here when we get around to installing this thing. One thing to be aware of when planning the installation is you're going to need to have a hole big enough to get that standard HDMI connector through. And this is not overly large or difficult. I'd say, you're probably going to need an inch to get that through there. So just bear that in mind. So the camera is really nice. This one is in gray, which matches the whole color of my boat. And when you look online, you'll see that the company does offer custom colors. And I was able to do that to get this gray match to the boat. The way I did that was we actually used Sherwin-Williams because we had a Sherwin-Williams color fan. We found the gray on that was very close to the gray on the boat, and told the BOATEYE360 folks that that's the color we needed to match to. They actually got a sample of that color paint from Sherwin-Williams down there in Florida, where the factory is for this product, and had it powder coated to match. It came out really, really nice. The standard colors for this are black or white powder coat. I've also seen this in just stainless steel, just the metal color with no powder coat on it. So lots of options there to meet your needs. The lens of the camera is interesting in that there's a BOATEYE360 logo in there. I'll just turn it around so you can see a little bit more about the camera. Okay. So a few things about this. This is a 720p/1080p full HD camera, and it's actually capable of 4K, but the number of multifunction displays on boats that can do 4K is very small. So it comes pre-configured from the factory for 1080p. And that's going to work fine for my installation because I'm going to be using this with a Garmin 8616, which will support that resolution and also supports an HDMI input, which is why I got this digital version instead of the analog version that's also available. A few other things about it, I'll just go down a few performance things with this camera that might be interesting to you. I made a few notes. Low light performance is 0.1 millilux. That's 0.0001 lux. That is a very sensitive camera. The housing and everything on it is all 316 stainless steel. That's the highest marine grade stainless steel. It has a waterproof rating of IP68, which is great. As I said, minus the HDMI version, you can also get this to fit onto an analog input with a RCA BNC connector or USB. It comes with a 60-day money-back warranty, 1 year of product support warranty. This comes from a small business in Florida, and they're competing with some much larger businesses in this market. All right, so that said, let's weigh this thing. I have not weighed this. I'm curious to see what it does weigh, because it's pretty stout. Okay, I am measuring 4.5 pounds. That's a substantial piece of hardware. And something that I'll be doing, and it's in the instructions, I'll get there, is this bracket is held on with 4 hex-head screws. You can take those screws out and flip the back bracket around if you're going to mount it underneath the T-top, which is what I'm going to do. So mine will be mounted like this, but with the water shield flipped around. The way it's set up from the factory, they deliver it to you like this, would be, say, to install it on top of the T-top or on top of some flat surface. So this is your weather shield. And of course, you affix the mounting bracket here, and you've got to route these 2 cables over to your multifunction display. So what else comes in this package? I really like the hard case, but there are other things in here that are nicely thought out that tell me that this is a pretty cool product. So let's take a look at some things. Okay. So we have this little pigtail, and we have a switch. So something that comes with the BOATEYE360 is some recommendations concerning your power wiring. And the camera's not intended to be left on all the time, although you can use this camera in daylight. The processors in here develop quite a bit of heat, so it's a good idea to turn this on when you need it, turn it off otherwise. And that's covered in the instructions. You don't wire the camera directly to your battery. And the 2 recommendations are to either connect it to a dedicated switch, which is a really nice switch that they thoughtfully include in the package. This pigtail is for that switch. The other option is to wire this into your nav light circuit. So as long as your nav light circuit has sufficient ampacity to run the camera, you're good to go with that. So let's see what else is covered in the instructions that are included in the box. We talked about the power wiring. The camera takes 20 to 30 seconds to boot up. Camera positioning. Of course, you want to position the camera facing forward. You want to make sure that you don't get too much of the bow in the view, and you want to make sure that if you have nav lights, that you try your best to keep those nav lights out of the view, because they are going to interfere with your camera usage. My nav lights are on top of the T-top, so that's perfect. They're shielded, but depending on where yours are, that may be a consideration. What I'm going to do is to get some help and temporarily hold this camera at night where you want to locate it. Hook up your wiring temporarily and take a look at it on the MFD. Make sure that you're getting the picture that you want to get and that you're not getting light interference from some unexpected source. Use dielectric grease on all the connections. A little bit of information about what to do if you have any video issues. Mounting hardware, use through bolts to secure the camera whenever possible. And that's certainly what I'm going to do. This thing, as I said, is 4.5 pounds. I would avoid using sheet metal screws unless you just don't have any, other options. And you don't open the camera. I think that's kind of obvious. Here's some information that covers the wiring for the dedicated switch, if you choose to use that, and points out that this is an American small business. This is made in America. The founder, who I've had the pleasure of talking to and communicating with and putting my order together, is Drew Shaw. Support you can get either through email, text, or telephone. I found that the response to text is really fast. So what else is in the box? Okay, Drew's card. And this kind of thing is just, it impresses me. So you're using these hex head screws for mounting the camera to the bracket, and they include in the package an extra one. And that's just, and the package is marked extra. So you know that. You're not sitting here wondering where this goes. But that kind of thoughtfulness says a lot about the thought that's gone into this product. And I have high expectations for it once I get it installed. What else is in? We've covered the power cord. We've covered the HDMI cord. That's pretty conventional. What's this? It took me a minute to look at this thing. What on earth is that? Okay, I finally figured it out. Yeah, if you buy this product, you get your own official BOATEYE360 whistle with lanyard. Doesn't get better than that, does it? All right. So that's about it. I think I've covered the rundown on this thing. I look forward to installing it here in the next few days. And once I get it on the boat, I hope to do another video to tell you more about how it's working for me in our environment. To sum it up, hey, it's a really good start on this product. Came in a nice carton, well packaged. Came in an absolutely fabulous hard case. I think this hard case is waterproof. That was really impressive and unexpected. I'm impressed with the way everything is packaged and marked. The power cable includes heat shrink at both ends of it. The length is marked, just nicely thought out. The power switch, and it's a decent push button switch too, is included. And I believe this is a lighted switch given the number of leads on it. That's just really nice. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I'm kind of torn about whether I will put in a dedicated switch. I will probably just wire it into my nav light circuit, but we'll see how that goes. I did want to point out the switch that they include has the BOATEYE360 logo on it. Nicely thought out. So this company is obviously thought about the details, plus you get this cool whistle with it. I think it's a great product. It's significantly less expensive than, at least as of today, than the competition. The main competition for this product today is about $600 more for their analog version and about $1,600 more for their digital version, which would compare with the HDMI version that I have in my hand. So it's a really good value. I'm really excited about it and hope to get it installed soon. I hope this has been helpful to you to get a better idea of what the product is all about and what you'll receive if you decide to order one of these. I thank you for watching my video. If you'll hit the like button on the way out, it would be much appreciated. That's about it for now. Thanks again.